Okay, so the nonlinear presentation assignment is creating a slideshow where rather than going from slide to slide through the presentation, you create a little bit of interaction by adding in functionality that allows you to go not from one slide to the next slide, but to slide throughout the presentation and then return, kind of like an app or a game or a website. And this allows you a little more flexibility in how you are using your slideshow. So in this example, I'm just going to show you how to add that interaction. I've already created the slideshow, and it would just run right now like a slideshow. I've added in all my animations. I've done all that stuff that I want to have in the finished show. Now I need to add in the overlay interaction. And so on my first slide here, you can see I've got my title in there, background, everything's in there. And then this button here is actually going to be my button to go to the next slide. So I'm just going to move this up here so it's easier to grab later on. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating buttons that are invisible, and those buttons can allow you to travel throughout your presentation. I'll show you how to make them. So I'm going to go in here to my shapes. I'm just going to select a rectangle, and then I'm going to make that rectangle the size of my whole slide. And I'm going to left or right click or two-finger click if you're on the Chromebook, and I'm going to go to link. And so normally you can use this to put in a website link, but there is also an option to go to slides in this presentation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this go right to this slide, slide 1. And what that means is that if they click anywhere on the screen, it's just going to take you right back to the screen. So I'm going to apply that, and then I'm going to make this invisible. Now you can't stop people from leaving the slideshow because, or the slide, because they can still use the arrow button or the spacebar button to go through. But if they're using the mouse to click through, then they have to use your buttons. So I'm going to make that invisible, make the line invisible. And then what I'm going to do is, let me just push this back down here. I don't need to grab that. I'm now going to put in another invisible box over top of this sign, and then that'll become my button to go to the next slide. So I'm going to go through and insert another box. Put this one over top of that. Same thing, I'm going to make it invisible, make the line transparent, and then I'm going to select link. And this time I want to go to the second slide. So that's slide 2. Okay. So now I've got those two links set up. So I'll show you what that looks like. If we go into present. Okay, so that animates. I've already done that. If I click anywhere, it does not take me out of the slideshow or to the next slide. But if I click there, we go into the second slide. Okay, so that first slide is done. So now I'm going to show you how to get one that takes you to various slides throughout the presentation and then how to return to that. So the first thing I do is the exact same thing again. And actually, I'm just going to copy this from the first slide to the second slide, but then I'm going to change that. No, I don't need to. It automatically did that. Look at that. So that is slide 1. Now this link, it automatically made it to slide 2. So that's great. And now I'm going to put in some more buttons over top of each of the names that I want to be the links. So that one is going to be a link to the third slide. And maybe I can copy this and then put it down over the next one. I can change the size of these once I have them invisible and I can see them a little better. And again, I want this one to go to slide 4. And I'm going to copy this again. And I'm going to edit that. And I'm going to change that now to slide 5. Apply that. And then copy this one down again. And again, edit. And I'm going to change that one to slide 6. Okay, so now I'm going to make all of these transparent and transparent, and then I'm just going to line them up so that they're right over the words. Okay, that should be good. That should be good. That should be good. That should be good. Okay, so now this will take me to these slides. And then once I get to these slides, of course, I need to do the same thing again. I'm going to copy that, paste that here. I wonder if it will do the same thing. It did. Slide 3, perfect. Slide 4, awesome. Slide 5, and slide 6. So it automatically changed that, so that's pretty good. And then I'm going to add in my button to go over top of this go back sign. So I'm going to again put in a shape. This time I'll use maybe a rounded one to match the shape of that. And I'll make that link. Go to slide 2. So that's where our menu is. And I'm going to make that transparent to make the line transparent. And then this time I can copy and paste it in it, and I don't want it to change it to slide 3, but it might. So let's just find out what happens. I'm going to copy that, paste that there. No, it stayed slide 2. Good. Stayed slide 2. Paste slide. Okay, so they all stayed. So now, in theory, if I go in here, this should function the way I want it to. Let's just test it out and see. So I'll present. Okay, it's not changing. It's not changing. Click here. It's not changing. Click on my button. Enters in. Okay, click here. Nothing changing. Okay, my animation comes in. And then if I click on any of these names, it should take me to the next slide. Okay, so there's Dora. Okay, go back. Freddy. Again, none of these clicks should change it. Back. Okay, looks like they're all working. Okay, so all those worked, I believe. Try this one. Okay, again, clicking, nothing changes. Okay, so that should be all good. That should be all working. And now you have yourself a nonlinear presentation that allows you to control how the user goes through your presentation.